So I'll write down a song. I'll write down Louie Louie on the low E string. So that's going to be open, 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 7 7 or 5 5 7 7 7 5 5, and I really stretch that out so it takes up a whole staff, so it's really clear and easy to read. And here's the thing that's kind of cool too. I'll write it out with spaces between them to represent the pauses. So I'll do like open, 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 kind of close together, and then a big space, 5 5, and then kind of, yeah, it's they rhythm they don't rhythm on a fundamental level they probably already understand. It's not necessarily that they can emulate it, but they understand the idea of rhythm just from observation and stuff. If you start talking to them about eighth notes and stuff, they will just, it's too micromanagey. It's like when I'm talking to guitar players and they're trying to learn how to bend or something. I can give them a lot of big tips. Put your thumb over the neck. Like if your thumb is way down here, see how the problem that creates, or try it without your thumb. See how impossible that is? Like the thumb is a big part of it, and I walk them through all these steps. But in the end, I mean, the thing that's going to help after some of those steps, the thing that's going to really help is watching people bend. And I'll write down some guitar players that are like great benders or have great vibrato and stuff. Let's say, watch this guy on YouTube. Watch a lot of him. He's really cool and really good, and you'll see. Because some of this, there's a certain level of osmosis in this way when it comes to like the little micromanaged stuff. All right, so yeah, so then when they do it, I'll say, let's play the first part. Open, open, open. Okay, so you can have them play it first and go, yep, and then you would just play it back. Cool. What's the next one? And they'll play the 5th fret. And maybe they'll do it 3 times or something. You just have to correct one. Oh, no, how many times? You look, you point the page and go, oh, 2, okay. What's the next one? 7th fret, okay, and they'll go like this. Chances are they're just gonna use one finger for everything. And you just allow that to happen for a little bit. And you go, okay. But I mean, not for a week, hopefully. But basically you just walk it through the notes, and then you go, okay, cool. Go and try the whole thing, they'll. Okay, like you have this kind of thing like this. They get through it. All right, awesome. All right, now I'm gonna play it and see what I'm doing differently, and then you'll tell me what I'm doing differently. And you recognize this song? You can sing it if you want. Lua, lua, oh, we gotta go. So chances are they've heard it. Most kids have heard it because it is in some I can't remember. They've heard it from somewhere. Anyway, then what I usually do is I'll go, okay, let's learn another song that's very, very, very similar. Oh, sorry, I forgot to point out what I did differently. They might say, oh, you're playing it more quickly. It's like, yeah, but that's not important. There's something more important. I'm using more than one finger. All right, so then I'm going to write down a little I under the 5th fret. That's index finger. If they're little kids and they don't know what index finger is, you say it's the nose picker. And then they probably never forget. And then you go, okay, so after that, it's the ring finger. Anyway, so you try to get them to use the right fingers. Let's learn another song that's very, very similar, and you can learn Wild Thing. And it's the exact same frets. You write down. The difference is it's 2 opens, right? And what I do is I create a little space between the 2 opens because it's like open, 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 7, 7, And so I try to, again, represent I try to create some kind of representation of the fact that there's rhythm here. Since it's tab and it doesn't show them rhythm. So yeah, I write it out and put a little space between the O's. And like this song, let's try this one. Wild Thing. You make my heart sing. Have you heard this one? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But either way, it's not a big deal because they've heard one of the 2. They probably heard Louie Louie from, I think it's in some cartoon. They usually know it. Anyway, then what I do is I teach them what this doesn't take a million years really. So next thing I'll teach them is the Peter Gunn theme. But here's how I do it. I go, okay, I mean more or less how I do it. I say, all right, let's learn one more song today to work on this week, and this one's going to be a lot more involved. All right, it starts off with this note. I'm just going to write a note, and then I want you to play it. You write open, and they play boom, open. And you write it again. Oh, so there's a second one. Can you play it? In fact, can you play it 2 times? Yeah. All right, cool. So next is the second fret E string. You write that in. You just write it in. Go, can you play that? And then they play it. And you go through, and it's 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4. So you write that all down one at a time and get them to play each note at a time. And then after you finish writing, it's like, okay, can you play from beginning to end? You know, and then you haven't played it for them yet, mind you. So they'll go like, all right. And they'll probably play it open between the 5 and 4, and you go, oh, that was super close. One little thing, though, you notice here, it goes straight from the 5th fret to the 4th fret. And you kind of, so basically, you're just guiding them like that all the time, sort of holding their hand while they do it. Good. All right, cool. Go ahead and play it again, and they'll play it again. Do you recognize this song? And they'll probably say no. They go, okay, let me play it for you and see if you recognize it. And now they do, because this is in SpongeBob. At some point, like a car chase, Peter Gunn theme, and Gunn is spelled with 2 N's, Gunn. It's like, and basically everybody knows this because old people know it from some old TV show. People our age, actually the broadest range of people, my parents at the oldest down to like maybe me at the youngest, know it from the Blues Brothers. Yeah? And kids know it from they know it from SpongeBob or from, I think, maybe a Cars movie or something, or both. I mean, both. They know it from different places. It's showed up. Anyway, okay, so you go, oh, I know that one, you know. Wow. We know. Anyway, so then, now look what I'm doing again. I'm using different fingers, right? I'm using all my fingers. So what I'll do is I'll write down index, middle, pinky, ring. It's like, okay, let's just start real slow. Take your time. It's not important that we play it fast. It's important that we play it correctly. That's all that matters. So, all right, 2 opens. And then what's next? 2nd fret, okay, with the index finger, you know, like this. And then it's open, and then with the middle finger. And then the pinky, right? So you press with the pinky, and they'll probably do something like this. Like, yeah, but also look at, like, see my hand? They'll play it like this. It's like, well, how about this? I want you to use your mind and focus down on that note with your pinky, but you can use your other fingers kind of behind it if you want. Like, try with putting your ring finger there. Put your ring finger there too, and then they can work together like teamwork. Because anything that happens over here, and I'll do this to show them, like, it doesn't change it. This is where the note ends. So you can use like teamwork, and then they'll do it and they'll go, eh, they got it. Or they might have a thumb problem, you know, like thumb will be doing something silly like this. You go, can you pick up a glass of milk without your thumb? You know, think of it like that. That if you were to try to pick up a glass of milk like this with no thumb, very difficult. You probably make a mess. The thumb is similar. We get that messy sound if we don't use our thumb. So you want to put your thumb, you know, you could just show them in detail. Like, see where my thumb is like this? And I use, that's as important. Because together they squeeze like this, you know, just like we pick up a glass of milk or something. And that's what enables us to press that. So I'll kind of walk through those steps, you know. A lot of it's kind of obvious to us, and we have to make it obvious to them. And then the 4th fret. And now you notice, because you were squeezing with both, all you have to do is pick up your pinky. That one's already there, isn't it? You know, you can try to you can work out stuff like this. If they don't get it, you don't have to, they might get it a different way or something. But you're really throwing, like, every one thing you say probably has 5 or 10 bits of information in it. They don't have to catch every little detail. Anyway, so yeah, then you play it real slow. You know, you can say, let's try it together, you know, stuff like that. Slower than this even. You can get them to do it on their own first, because they will do it slow, and they'll do it slower than even you will realize probably, as an option. And tempo is the thing you haven't talked about yet. So you're not quite at the point of playing it together. You can kind of follow each other, you know, like, well, okay, first let's play together. And you kind of will slow down if you have to, and you'll speed up if you have to. It doesn't matter yet. They're just trying to get the right notes. In general, the first thing everyone has to know is what notes to play. Then they can worry about in fact, yeah, and it's even with I don't do this with basic guitar, saying the pitches. That's so advanced at this point. With piano, it's more quickly. It's like, okay, say the note when you play it, because we have to know the pitches. Count it while you play it. They don't even necessarily have to play it in time. They just have to say and or one or whatever it is when they hit the note. And then it's playing it in time with a tempo. Um, but bass is a little bit more simple than that, at least at this stage. So, um, yeah. So okay, now here's a few things to explain about these songs. First of all, they're all within their power. Any beginner can play these songs. Not necessarily right there in the lesson, but within that week of practice, they can. And I'll even tell them things like this. Okay, so this song Peter Gunn Theme, this is a really good song for beginners to learn. It uses all of our fingers, number one. And that way, we don't have to learn some lame exercises. I'll tell the kid, like, see, a lot of teachers will give students something they call finger torture. This was actually something that was given to me on my first lesson. I didn't do it. It's something that, yeah. And then you go back down. And here's what I'll do. I'll say, now, learning Peter Gunn Theme, well, first of all, it's a really cool song. And you've heard the song. And so it's a cool song that you've heard. That's a good thing it's got going for it. Also, the song is entirely made up of this one part. It doesn't have like an A or B or verse or chorus. It's just this one thing all the time. And it's like 4 minutes. So if you get up to speed with it, you can play along with the record and you'll know the whole song. And also, it's not obscured. Like, you could easily hear it. A bass plays it. The low end of a piano plays it, I think. There may be a guitar playing it. It's basically a unison line. Happens for like 4 minutes. So it's a song that's cool. It's a song that you know. It's a song that has one part and you know it, meaning you can play this entire song now. When you get it up to speed, you can play it with the record, and that'll kind of practice your endurance more or less, because you'll be playing along and then you go, wait a minute, whoa, like I'm off. And then you can just kind of pause while the song keeps playing and kind of come back in. And that kind of teaches you other things as well, because I mean, don't worry about it now, but you'll find that you're going to focus on what you're playing and you lose track of what you're playing with, or you listen to what you're playing with and lose track of what you're playing. And so you're kind of practicing that at that point. That's like a little later stage. That's not weeks away. That's like later on in the week stage, hopefully.